2 years after Solomon was let go, we had a cyclone and a huge flood. And that's when I reckon he was washed out into the Gulf right here.
Once in the open waters of the Gulf of Carpentaria, Solomon turned right, heading north. He was comfortable in the open sea. Only the saltwater crocodile and the American crocodile are so well adapted to an estuarine environment. Saltwater crocodiles range from India to Fiji, being sighted 1,000 kilometres from land. For Solomon, a trek half this distance along the coast was a leisurely swim over several years.
I've been following this little crocodile for some time now, and he's pretty stuffed. Now, that's about the size Solomon was when he actually got washed into the ocean at Edward River. Now, he had to spend quite a lot of time at sea, going from Edward River to Bamaga. But he always had to come into the rivers because saltwater crocodiles can't live without fresh water. He's off again.
While Solomon entered rivers and creeks for water and food, he was always in danger from larger crocodiles. They controlled the rivers and were his main predators, so his stays were brief. In these times he learned to hunt and to hide.
Solomon, like any other crocodile out there, has two main reasons for living: feeding and breeding. That is hunting and territory. But that's just about like any other animal out there. That includes us. But crocodiles are a bit luckier than most others. They sort of live in a hotel with room service. Just about everything they eat either lives with them or has to drink. But they've got a bit of a problem. Just about everything they eat is faster than them. So they've had to develop a few skills to overcome this problem. They need only eat once every 2 or 3 months, depending upon their size. And really big crocodiles can go for years without food. They can also stay motionless, unseen, for hours. All that really does is allows him to get close enough to catch the animal. But even that's not enough. An alert animal would still escape. It has to do one last thing, and that is touch the water.
The morning calm gives no hint of the titanic struggle a day before. But the increasing smell attracts a gathering of crocodiles, goannas, dragon lizards and flies. They tell us something happened. The cow was grabbed by a huge crocodile while drinking. He dined on the head and neck and left the rest. Now the others gather to clean up the remains. It's a cautious gathering, where, except for the flies, size takes precedence. This huge crocodile struggles to break up the carcass in the deep water. It relies heavily on his perforating teeth to loosen the flesh. After just a few bites, the crocodile is full, but exhausted by the rolls and wrenches. He may not eat again for a month. The rest is left for the others. These Gulf river systems attract rich varieties of life. and not far away, a colony of red flying foxes takes to the evening sky by the hundreds of thousands. Such large populations not only nourish environments as nocturnal pollinators, but the sick and dying nourish the rivers and the crocodiles. Life is very much a lottery for residents of rivers and billabongs. Crocodiles remain so still and quiet, so much a part of the landscape, they're easily overlooked. No matter how cautious, this snake-necked cormorant can never be quite sure when it'll get that bit too close. The royal spoonbill is wary. A long watching game between crocodile and bird is over. Impatiently, the predator tests the prey for signs of weakness. Missing a meal is not a problem this time. There'll be many other opportunities before it needs to eat. At the end of a long dry season, before the effects of the first summer storms, rivers and waterholes focus populations of wildlife. Agile wallabies gather in the late afternoon to forage. By now, most of their food has dried or burnt. Some dig for the remaining moist roots of burnt grasses. Others graze the lush green herbage near the edge of the water. The crocodiles miss none of the activity. Wallaby is fast food for a crocodile. They come in just the right size and flavour. But agile wallabies are alert, instinctively wary. They're safe close to the water if they're vigilant. Nothing will persuade them to enter. The crocodile's chance can only come when and if the wallaby drinks. They drink, but infrequently. The crushing jaws of the big male kill the wallaby instantly. The activity attracts another crocodile. It's his female. He blows bubbles to warn her off. There's no need to rush. He needs to recover his depleted energy levels. Crocodiles are power athletes, built to produce short bursts of high energy. They have little endurance. His female will get the scraps. Little change marks springtime in northern Australia. Temperatures begin to rise, early storms occasionally develop, and a handful of plants may flower. This year, the grass trees are blooming, and the greenies and rainbow lorikeets harvest the pollen and nectar. It's mating time, and this male crocodile reveals a remarkable behaviour. He's trying to attract a female to mate with. The male crocodile on the surface is mating with a submerged female. He mates with as many as he can in a season and guards his territory by driving off all other males. The activity lasts until the female breaks off. The raised head is a gesture of submission to the male. But there's little time to linger. Another of the group's females drives her away, already defending her future nesting territory. So this was life for Solomon for many years, and we know much of it was spent along the coast near an unusual island.
I've always had one nagging problem about Solomon being one of the babies I let go in 1972. How did he get so big so quick? Now in captivity, that wouldn't be a problem. With daily feeding, he can do it. In the wild, that's another story. Now, there is one place I've heard of that might be the answer, and I'm off to find out.
Strong southeast trade winds near the tip of Cape York Peninsula pummel Crab Island for most of the year. This sandy island endures the wind's constant onslaught to form one of the world's most important turtle breeding grounds. Three of 7 turtle species breed here, but by far the most common is the flat-backed turtle. The flat-backed turtle is essentially unique to Australia, with its feeding grounds only extending as far as New Guinea and Indonesia. Hatchling flatbacks are also different. They spend their first years within about 15 kilometres of the coast. All other species lose themselves in oceanic space. On Crab Island, almost every day of the year, from late afternoon through the night to early morning, female turtles and babies trek the beach. This continuous activity is a powerful enticement to predators. The peaceful dawn belies the frenzied activity of the night and sees the last of the flatbacks laying 50 or so eggs. The day is quiet. The rufous night herons and pelicans have long finished gorging on the previous night's harvest of baby turtles. But hazards for young turtles are not only confined to the predators. On a beach where they dig many hundreds, nesting sites are crowded. This female has exposed a batch of brand new hatchlings while digging her egg chamber. The absence of the usual nocturnal predators means most will survive. Crab Island is not only a magnet for nesting turtles and predatory birds. All this continual activity has also attracted crocodiles. They have made the island home. The huge black male crocodile killed the turtle. Its unlaid eggs spill onto the sand. He brought it into the shallow water to break it up. This female crocodile is waiting for her turn. The plentiful supply of turtles means crocodiles here do very well. The more food they eat, the faster they grow. Today, this area supports numbers of very large crocodiles.